Hey, what's up, Roxstars? It's Rox with the 53rd installment of Black Girls on Television. So let's get to it, shall we? Alright, you guys, so Greenleaf at Jacob's house, remember they are in the Skank's old home, is always problems there. Right now, they are having wiring problems. The wife is pissed. She wants him to call Skanks to come get it fixed, but he doesn't want to be a bother. He's been calling his handy person at the Greenleaf estate, okay, the one that handles the problems there. And she, of course, doesn't want to do that because she doesn't want Lady May to be, kind of rubbing their nose in the fact that they left and then their house is full of shit. While they're there fussing about that, they get a call. It's Skanks. Surprise, surprise. He's pissed about this injunction that the father has filed. So he tells Jacob to meet him at Calvary. Is it Calvary or Calgary? It's Calvary, right? Meet him there, okay? They're going to go take care of this in front of Bishop. Now, back at Greenleaf, Lady May is really trying to schmooze up Aaron, giving him Jacob's room, showing him around, being extra nice. I was like, shit, if I didn't know no better, I would think she was trying to get with him. I'm positive she's not, but that's the kind of vibe that you almost are getting. May makes it very clear, though, that they have got to get Jacob back on the side of Calvary, because if they don't, and Triumph 2 opens, then, they'll probably lose a lot of their members, end up having to close the church and have to sell their estate just so that they can take care of all the bills. So this is important that we get Jacob back. Grace, she is going to be conducting a wedding. And her daughter, Sophia, who's really taking this Christianity thing fully to heart. It's so nice to see, actually. You don't see that with teens these days. Not on the TV shows, anyway. But anyway, Grace is going to be doing this wedding. Her daughter asks her if she ever thinks she'll get married again. Grace, because she's in this place right now where she's not really feeling real faithful. She's not really feeling real positive. She's not really feeling God-fearing. She ain't feeling none of that. She's in backslide, okay? The daughter is just like, you think you'll get married? She was like, no, I don't really think so. Okay, she was like, what about Rick Fox? And she was like, we're just friends. She was like, just friends and you be out with him all night? She was like, excuse me, I am not sleeping with him, even though that's not your business, but we just be talking. Well, what y'all talking about? Putting Mac away in jail forever. Okay, that's all Grace can think about right now. Now, Skanks and Jacob show up at Calvary, and it is so funny how Skanks, he just cracks me up. He is so cool, so rude. He's just an asshole. He sees Grace when he walks in, kind of walks by her. Okay, don't even really give her any acknowledgement until he's just about away from her. Then he was like, oh, Pastor Grace, But they barge into the bishop's office. And, they want to discuss this injunction. He tries to get Jacob to talk to him about it at first. And Jacob is just like, sorry, Pop. He was like, sorry, Pop, give that to me. Okay, he was like, we're going to talk about this and we're going to get this settled. Bishop's whole thing is just like, oh, I see you got the injunction. I hope you got a long time to wait around because we're going to resolve this in 28 days. Bishop is loving it. It ain't too many times that he get to stick it to Skanks. Now, this couple that Grace is going to be marrying are a pain in the ass. Just to put it lightly, okay? The lady is very difficult, complaining. Grace is just sitting there listening to them talk about their problems. She's counseling them right before their rehearsal. And it seems like the lady is unsure about what she wants to do, and she's hard on the husband, and the husband is just trying to please the wife, and I'm just like, and so is Grace, okay? She's like, hey, listen, we got rehearsal. How about we table this? We come back to it in, after rehearsal. You guys will be fine, though. Don't worry about it. In another part of the church, we got Charity and what is his name? Jabari. They are listening to her music, and of course, she is really feeling Jabari, and he's telling her how she's so talented that she should become a writer, and not just for the church, and not just for her little album, but for everybody, okay, because she's very talented. He knows people that makes over $1 million, in Nashville. So you should think about doing it. So she says, let her pray on it, okay, and then she hugs him and thanks him for, just making her believe in herself again. And while they're hugging, Lady May walks in. She's just like, Jabari walks out, and she was like, was I interrupting anything? And she was like, no, Ma, don't worry about it. And she was just like, well, shoulders looked like something was going on there. And that's when Charity finally tells her that she is going to be getting a divorce, which was surprising because she had just talked to her husband, Kevin, earlier that day. And he wanted to talk to her about what they were going to do, about custody of the child, what the decisions that they were going to make. And she was just like, we'll talk about it later. So she made it seem like divorce was not on her mind at the time. However, she tells her mother that they're going to get a divorce. And Lady May was like, girl, let me tell you something. Okay. Marriage is pliable. You bend it to any way that you need it to be. Okay. But you don't want to break it. Breaking a marriage is a loss. Okay. So what you need to do is sit down, you and Kevin, with me and Bishop, and we're going to make sure that you guys stay married, basically. Of course, Charity doesn't want to do that, but she was just like, fine, mother. In the meantime, Bishop goes and tells Aaron, who is their new legal counsel for the church, that Skanks is there. And what should he do? He's not about to sit up here and talk to him about this injunction. And Aaron says, listen, my dad always said that what you need to do is sit out the devil. There's nothing worse to the devil than being ignored. So Bishop was like, son, you got it. So he goes back in there while Jacob and Skanks are just sitting there. You know, they staging this sit-in. Bishop was just like, I don't really know what you guys think you're going to accomplish here, but I got a deacon's meeting. So I'm going to go on to that, you know, and 4 o'clock, y'all can take it on home. Lady May comes in. Okay. She stared that damn Skanks down. It's so funny because Lynn Whitfield can gives him a mean, dirty ass look. She takes Bishop out in the hallway and she tells him that Charity and Kevin are talking about getting a divorce. You know, he's just like, oh my God. She was like, the church can't take another scandal. We need to protect ourselves. And if we got to protect ourselves against Kevin, ain't no telling what Kevin might do, then we need to do that. So now they got to retain a lawyer. Now, back to this rehearsal. Okay, old girl is difficult. You know, Grace is telling them how the service will go. And she tells them you're going to say your vows. And you guys want to go in and go over your vows now. So the husband starts up with his vows. And the wife is just like, I'm sorry, I can't do this. And she runs out. All right, Grace is just like, these people are really trying me today. So they go back to Grace's office. And the main problem that the wife-to-be is having is the fact that Grace is marrying them and not Bishop, okay? She said that Bishop married her sister and, you know, everybody still talks about it, okay? I was just like, people talk about the Bishop marrying somebody or how beautiful the wedding. Child, anyway, okay, she was just like, I just don't like the fact that you were a preacher and you gave up, basically saying that you're not taking this job seriously and who even knows if you are anointed and called to preach, basically. So she doesn't want Grace to marry her and she's sorry, but she can't do this. So she walks out. Grace is just sitting there like... And the husband is just like, I'm sorry, it's not your fault. But Grace knows that maybe a little bit of what the lady said, maybe a little bit of what it said has a little bit of truth to it. Back at the house, Skank's wife shows up. What's her name? Tasha. And, you know, she's in her old sister girl kind of way trying to see what she can do. Jacob's wife is like, we done already looked at the damn box. The wiring is fucked up in this house. You guys need to do something about it. So she's putting the pressure on Tasha. And, you know, Tasha's trying to dance around, you know, fixing things up around there because, you know, they live in a high rise and they've given this house to Jacob and the wife. And the house doesn't look that bad, but evidently it is a money pit and it's got a lot of problems in there. So after Tasha can't take the pressure from the wife anymore, you know, she get to crying. First I thought it was an act because I was just like, oh, this is bad acting. But turns out I guess she was serious. You know, she get to crying and say that, you know, she don't know where they're going to get this money from because Skanks is, you know, doing all kind of side deals. And, you know, the wife was like, side deals like what? She's like, girl, not side deals, but you know what I mean. It's a whole lot of money involved. And, you know, it's a lot of things that has to happen. And it takes a lot of his attention. So she tries to kind of take away what she originally said, which was Skanks got some dirty deals going on out there. So she's kind of alerted Jacob's wife to that. Back at Calvary, while they waiting to talk to the bishop, okay, Skanks tells Jacob a story about his father, okay, how they didn't really have much in common with each other, but they did have baseball. Okay, and that his father had one day signed him up for a baseball team and he was really excited about going. Okay, he went to sleep knowing that him and his dad was going to be going out there the next day. And when he woke up the next day, his mama had a cup of cocoa. He knew something was wrong. Okay, mama said, you know what? Your daddy was in the fire down at the church. He didn't make it out. He is dead. He is not coming home anymore. Okay, and ever since then, I guess Skanks has had it in his mind that he was going to get Bishop. He said that something broke inside of him, something broke inside of his mama, and even maybe Bishop and you. Okay, but he know he got to set this right now. So after we had that conversation, Bishop decides to come in and sit down with Aaron and Jacob and Pastor Skanks. And Bishop is really gloating, you know, how does it feel, son? But Jacob can't take the fact that his father is gloating, mostly because he is upset with the recent turn of events. Okay, he tells his dad, listen, when I found out that you ordered that your church get burned down, it changed a lot of things within me, how I feel about you. That very night, both Skanks and I lost our fathers. So don't sit up here being all smart ass and thinking that you doing something. He tells Aaron, look, I know you are a friend and I still consider you a friend, but you better be careful because you are trying to block the Lord's business right now. And you don't know how bad it can be when you try to block God's blessings. Then he tells both Bishop and Lady May that you guys have made a mistake not believing in me. And you gonna mourn the day when I blow up. And I'm leaving. All right, so he storms out and, Pastor Skanks is just sitting there. He was just like, well, I guess we leaving, all right? He was like, boy, I sure did love that, though, okay? Didn't even have to open my mouth. Who knew that Jacob had it in him? While him and Jacob are walking down the hallway and Skanks is trying to congratulate him, he was like, listen, I didn't do that for you, okay? So don't even get your hopes up high and excited about anything. Jacob is fucking over it. While they're talking, Grace comes out of her office. She sees them, and she's just like, why are you doing this? Jacob was like, let me talk to my sister for a second. He said, let me tell you something, all right? You the one left. You knew what was happening to our sister and you left. So you should be happy that I don't blame you for the things that happened around here. Don't be so high and mighty when you ignored the problems as well. He had to go in and put Sister Grace in her place as well. I said, look at Jacob trying to TCB around there. Now, remember I told you that they have to retain a lawyer for Charity. So Lady May tells Aaron that Kevin and Charity are getting a divorce. Okay, so I told you that he is the counsel for the church, so he will be Charity's lawyer. Just so happens he sees Kevin in the church. He calls him into his office. Kevin, come here for a second. Yeah, I heard that you were getting a divorce. Kevin is taken aback because, like I said, him and Charity hadn't even talked about anything yet. And he was just like, oh, yeah, and he was like, well, did you get a lawyer yet? And he was just looking like, no, he didn't say that, but that was a look on his face. He was like, okay, I see you haven't. Okay, well, when you get one, have him call me, gives him a card. Okay, I was like, oh, damn. This is going to change Kevin, okay, and maybe not make him be so easygoing and, make it so easy for Charity, because now I think he feels like he is being forced out. Now, the spirits are still high at Calvary, and the revival went well, and now Bishop can tell the deacons that Calvary is back in the black, okay, and this injunction that they filed might stop Triumph 2 from building indefinitely. Lady May, she goes and makes this grapefruit cake for Aaron. That's the same kind of cake that his mother used to make. Again, she's laying the sugar on real thick, okay? And I'm just like, girl, you ain't gonna try to kiss him, are you? Smiling at him, and he was like, Miss May, you don't have to worry about me telling anybody about you and my dad, okay? Wouldn't even make any sense. What would be the point? Okay, so she's like, thank you. Finally, I can go back to being my mean old self. Jacob goes back home. Wife has made a romantical dinner for him, by candlelight. She ain't got much choice because the electricity is all jacked up, but she was able to talk to the electric company and they're going to come and fix the wiring the next day. But also, let me let you know that Tasha was here earlier and she kind of let me know that her and Skanks ain't got no money. So that is something to think about. And then back at the Greenleaf Estates, Sophia, like I said, she is really taking her newfound Christianity seriously. And she sits with Grace and she says, so they're not getting married? And Grace says, yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. And she was like, well, let's pray for them. And Grace was like, oh, girl, that ain't going to help. Okay, what pastor says that? So then her daughter is just like, well, let's pray for you. Okay, because a pastor who doesn't believe in prayer, and Grace says, you know what, you're right, let's pray. So the daughter prays a very tender prayer for her mother. Grace is looking at her daughter. I'm sure she is admiring the fact that her daughter has went in so gracefully and is really believing, a babe in her Christianity. But I could also see the confusion on Grace's face, like how is she going to make it back, get over this whole thing with Mac, and, get back to her peaceful self, living with the Lord. So that was it for Greenleaf. It was the 100th episode for Scandal. This whole episode was a what if episode, and Shonda likes to do these type of dream sequence, what if, sometimes she will just kind of get off of the beaten path and try something different, which is cool when you try something different, but I rarely like when they try something different. Okay, like I said on Twitter, if they fucking do a fucking Scandal musical episode, I'm gonna be done with this shit. Okay, but it wasn't quite that bad, but it was still okay. Let's just kind of go over it. All right, now they fussing Jake Olivia and Fitz because they have different ideas of how to figure out who they are. Ponytail, they, and the man. Okay, so Jake wants to kill him, and Fitz is saying, no, we're not doing that because that's sort of like fixing the election again. And Fitz kind of storms out, and Jake tells Olivia, your boy is tripping, okay? Because if you hadn't fixed the election in Defiance, everything would be way worse off. And so when he said that, it put a little thought to Olivia's head of, wow, what would have happened if I didn't fix the election? So we go back to that fateful night when they are in the airplane. The judge, can't remember her name. The oil tycoon, I can't remember his name. Okay, Melly, Cyrus, and Olivia. And instead of voting yes to fix the election, Olivia votes no to not fix the election. So Fitz then loses. It's over. He's just the governor, and it's time for Olivia to take it on back to D.C. She leaves the hotel after the election, and Fitz is hurt that she's leaving. She's going back home to D.C. and try to get a bill passed. She's going to be working with Marcus. You can tell that Fitz doesn't want to see her leave, but she's like, good luck to you and Melly. So she taking on back to D.C. and now she is a struggling activist in the community trying to get this bill passed. All right, her and Marcus, they get a little jacked up ass storefront kind of place for an office, and that is where they will be handling their work. Abby, who's very put together, she comes down and she talks to Olivia. Evidently, Olivia is going to be dating this guy, Leo. Just kind of want to see how it's going to go, nothing too serious. So Olivia that night gets ready for her date, and it's a very different Olivia. Okay, she's got natural hair. Okay, not the put together Olivia. Still pretty, but not the put together Olivia that we are used to. She's about to leave. She opens her front door and it's Fitz. Okay, he tells her he left Melly for her. She's like, I got a date. He was like, did you just hear me? I left California and I came here to ask you to marry me. She's shocked. She's about to leave for her date. But of course she doesn't leave for her date, okay? She jumps into his arms. I guess these two are getting married. So now it's the day of the wedding. And Cyrus and James are arguing out in the, in the front of the church because Cyrus is still in the closet, obviously. And James wants him to come out and to, that they are together. Wants him to sit next to him in the wedding. Cyrus says, absolutely not. That is not possible. While they're talking, he sees Melly kind of wandering around over in the shadows. Okay, he goes over to Melly and she's upset like, wow, this is really happening. I can't believe it. Okay, so he feels bad for old Mel. So he takes her back to the office and they have a drink. He's talking to her about how Fitz is a fool for being with Olivia and leaving her, that she is a perfect woman, and their eyes catch. They get very close and then they kiss. I was like, oh, absolutely not. If you really think that I am gonna believe, even in the dream fucking sequence, that Cyrus and Melly would get together, no fucking way. I might have thought that Cyrus and Olivia would have got together before Cyrus and Melly. No, it was just like, huh? It was so weird to see. So, yeah, okay, that was going on there. But back to the wedding. Olivia and Fitz get married. Okay, Papa Pope is off in the back of the church. He's not giving away Olivia. Huck is, okay? He looked like a fucking Bigfoot with this old nappy ass wig. I was like, why did they have to do Huck that bad? Okay, I mean, I understand that Huck was kind of crazy and all, but would they really have let Huck look like that at the wedding? Wouldn't we have just shaved him down, gave him a real low, buzz cut and go with that? But whatever. So, they get married and they're happy and everything. I think a year later, we see them still in her home. They moved in there together instead of buying something new. And that's the problem. Fitz wants to move out of there so they can have something of their own together and not her place. But she doesn't want to do that. Kind of gives them the brush off. And Olivia and Marcus are working with David and Abby trying to get this bill passed. Okay, Fitz has a TV show. Instead of Sally, it's called The Grant Report. It's just all very just sort of like, not what you would expect from a Fitz. Cyrus and Melly are married. And she actually looks genuinely happy with him. Cyrus puts a bug in her ear that she should run for president. That is what the agenda is. So we got to put the word out that she's running for president. We got to get a reporter to put that story out. Well, Cyrus tells her he's gonna, find somebody. And she's like, oh, baby, I already did. Okay, he's here. Look, okay, and it's James. So they sit down with James. Of course, Melly doesn't know anything about what's going on with Cyrus and James. And, James is like, oh, how's your relationship work? And, it's all about communication and trust. And he's really just kind of making Cyrus uncomfortable. Cyrus was like, Melly, honey, why don't you go get our wedding book so that he can see? All right, so she's like, okay, fine. So she gets up to go get the book. And he then tells James, why are you doing this? James was like, why are you doing this? You're living a lie. And they're having this whole heated discussion about the fact that Cyrus really wants to be with James and not with Melly. Okay. And Cyrus is like, look, me and Melly want the same things. Okay. She wants to run for president and I'm going to help her. Okay. We don't love each other. I don't love her. I would much rather be with you. Okay, so they're doing all this loud ass talking in this house with these high ass ceilings. There is an echo. Not even trying to whisper. And of course, Millie overhears it and she looks heartbroken up there. I was just like, oh, Millie just be so in the clouds. That child don't never win. Okay, she be genuinely loving folks and they just be using her. This was another one of those times. Back with Fitz, he's having dinner with Jake and Jake senses that something is wrong with Fitz. He's drinking. He looks upset. What's going on with Olivia? You guys not happy? Is she, sucking bed? He was like, no, it's not that. It's just that I feel like she looked at me differently when I was going to be president. Another unbelievable part of the story is in this one scene when they're at Olivia's place because, they don't really have any office space. And it's Abby and David or is it Marcus? And Olivia, it doesn't matter who it is back there. But Huck is watching a show, very similar to The Bachelor. And who is a contestant on there but Quinn? And she's very girly and very like, oh my God, I really want to find my prince. And, nothing that you would expect from Quinn because Quinn wasn't even like that when they first picked her up. Now, Quinn was very naive, but she never was girly and just like, oh my God, like, I can't find the... I was just like, Shonda, bitch, don't do it. Don't do us tonight. But Huck is all into the show, okay, that she's gonna get picked as the bachelorette and go on and marry the guy, and he does pick her, so it's sort of like, it was just crazy to watch. We find out that Olivia and Marcus, they finally score a conversation with the president. So they get all gussied up, they all excited, like, we at the White House, look, okay, taking pictures next to former presidents and all of that. They sit and wait for a long time, and to make a long story short, the president doesn't meet with them. As a matter of fact, one of his secretaries, one of his aides or something comes out and was like, it was a mistake that they set the interview with you guys because he never had any intention of talking to y'all or getting this bill passed or anything. So now they're like, damn, what a letdown. Okay, a rough day at work. She gets home and Fitz is on the couch. He's drinking, he's watching TV, and he finds out that Millie is now running for president. He was like, she's doing it to get back at me. And Olivia was just like, everything is not trying to get to you, okay? It's not always about you. Good for her. The world can use a female president of the United States. He says, oh, I take it that your meeting didn't go well. Okay, you and your dear boy, Marcus, are you guys fucking each other? I mean, I know we don't have sex anymore, so you gotta be fucking somebody, right? She was like, listen, I'm trying to do something big here. Not that you would know it. You sitting around here drinking on couches and on a stupid ass TV show. You used to be something. You wanted to be the president. Now look at you. He says, oh, so you're mad that I didn't give you the office? And she says, no, you're mad that I didn't give you the office. He was like, excuse me? She was like, nothing, don't worry about it. He was like, is there something that I should know? She was like, don't you even worry your pretty little head. But she finally lets him know that she could have fixed the election in defiance, okay, and that she did not. And if she had fixed it, okay, that it would have destroyed them. And he gets closer and he was just like, well, at least I would have been the president. In other words, we are already destroyed, okay? At least I would be in office right now. He walks off. Now, the next morning, you can imagine life is quite tense with Fitz and Olivia. She goes off to work. We see Melly and Cyrus. They're in her office, and Cyrus is trying to talk Melly into leaking information that Sally's husband is gay. I guess Sally is also running for president. If they do that, then Melly will be the last Republican standing, and she wouldn't have any problem. Okay, Melly doesn't want to do it. It's not right. Okay, they got somebody there named Damascus. That's old Eli Pope. Eli got the information. She was like, who is he? Like, where did he get this information from? I'm not doing it. And you, of all people, should understand that. Okay, do I make myself clear? All right, Cyrus is like, oh, the gag is up. Okay, I guess she knows I'm gay. But Cyrus still leaks the damn information. And, she's just like, what the fuck did I tell you? Why is this in the paper? And he was like, I leaked it. And she was just like, I told you don't do that. That's not right. I don't want to do it this way. And he was just like, he gave her the almost I am a monster speech, but not quite. But he was just like, listen, you knew what it was when you got with me. You knew what I do. You want this. I want this. We gonna work together. We ain't gonna act like we love each other, but we respect each other, and we gonna make this shit work. We gonna make you the president. Gives her a kiss on the cheek like, you know what? Let's order in tonight. All right, I'll be back. I'll see you later. Melly is just like, wow, are we really doing this? In the meantime, Quinn is on Fitz's show, okay, because she was the winner of The Bachelor, I'm supposing. And she's very much still in that same, oh, kind of way. But afterwards, Fitz is in the back room and he's feeling down on himself and he's drinking. Okay, Quinn comes in there and she comes on to him. They start kissing against the wall passionately. She gets down on her knees. She's about to give him a blowjob, unbuckling his pants. And while he's about to be pleased, he has his drink in his hand. He looks over in the mirror and he sees himself with Quinn in front of him on his knees. He is a married man. Okay, he's got his drink. Okay, he look a mess. It's just bad. All right, so he's like, stop, okay, and get out. Okay, and she was just like, whatever, old has-been. That's going on, but Olivia and Marcus are celebrating because they were able to get their bill passed. The bill is becoming a law. And while they're celebrating, Abby comes and tells her, oh, so you're doing all this celebrating, but you didn't even never give Fitz a chance. And Olivia's like, he's a damn TV star. Who ain't nobody thinking about Fitz's ass? And she was like, but you didn't really give him a chance, Olivia. Look, you still live in your apartment. Ask yourself why you have never moved. Olivia went and got the office space that is now Olivia Pope's office, in reality. And of course, that is going to be a problem because Fitz, like I said, wanted to get a place together. She's used the money for this office. Melly, now that she's so upset about, the recent turn of events and what's going to happen with Sally and her husband, she goes to Olivia's office and she was just like, I just wanted to let you know that you made the right choice and not fixing the election, without her telling her all the shit that's going on with Sally and Cyrus and her. She was just like, that was just the best thing to do. You saved Fitz. You and Fitz are free. And I'm stuck in this old unloving marriage with this old ass gay man that's about to put everybody's business out so I can be the president of the United States, okay? She just thought that Olivia should know that. I was just like, what is it with this God complex that they have with Olivia? Like, Olivia is the end all be all. She's the antidote. She is the one that can fix it. I don't give a damn what it is. So now Fitz has come to some realizations. He's on the show and he's talking about Sally and the fact that her husband is gay. And then he can't go on. Okay, it's just not right. So he goes home to his wife, Olivia. Olivia's sitting at the table doing some work. And he was just like, listen, I know that I've disappointed you, but he didn't want the presidency. All he wanted was Olivia. And now that I know that you could have fixed Defiance and you didn't, you tried to free me and I squandered it. I didn't take advantage of what I could have done. Now I'm just a lowly TV star. But if you give me another chance, I will become the man that you need. I will be what you deserve if you will just give me that chance. So I was like, did we really used to like these type of speeches from Fitz that he would give to? I guess we did, okay? But I'm telling you, it was sure falling flat last night. She's looking at him like, huh. So she snatches the envelope off the table and she hands it to him. Okay, I'm thinking that it's the divorce paperwork, like she's over it. They've only been married 3 years, but he opens it up and it is a townhouse in Georgetown. Okay, $900,000. She is like, it's close to work and we can live there together. And now they've decided that they're going to give their marriage another chance. Okay, they kiss and they happy. And then it goes back to reality. Olivia's still sitting in the president's office. Okay, she's looking around. She jumps up. She rushes out to Fitz, finds him on the veranda of the White House. And she walks up to him and he says, so did you make a decision? And she says that I'm in. I was like, she's in with what? I'm confused. I didn't remember. Then I was like, okay, well, maybe she was in, meaning that she's not going to go with Jake and no, they're not going to kill Ponytail, they and the man. Okay, is that what they thought? But I was just like, child, I guess. Happy 100th episode, Scandal. All right, you guys, let me get off of here. I have a long day at work and it is before work, so I'm gotta get off of here and get to it. You guys make sure that you rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It's Rox. The channel's for It's Rox, and everything else I do would be in the bottom bar. All right. So I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. I plan on doing the same. Till next time, Roxstars. Bye.